if we do, take again, look at the image here below. This is our surface of the silicon wafer. And anything above, up to the dashed line and above, is the cleaning solution that we bring in contact with our liquid. What is happening? Assume we have chemical contamination on the surface. It can be chemically bonded, it can be physically absorbed. But the chemical contamination is on the surface. So in order to achieve cleaning, the first thing we have to do is to overcome the forces that keep the contamination on the surface. These can be van der Waals forces, these can be chemical bonds, but we have to overcome the interaction of the contamination with the surface. Well, that is that middle term, potential energy. We have to use a source of energy to release the contamination from the surface. What needs to happen next? Well, the contaminants will have to diffuse away from the surface. That's the removal process. They will go to the bulk of the liquid that you bring in contact with them. That is the first term, the concentration gradient. So we have indeed a concentration gradient taking the contamination away from the surface to the bulk of the liquid. This is also where the previous slide comes into play, because if the concentration in the bulk is higher than the concentration in that boundary layer, we'll have the reverse process, and contaminants will basically diffuse to the surface, and then they can be exposed to adhesion forces, and they will recontaminate the surface. So that's the equilibrium that is happening. And once the contamination is in the bulk of the liquid, it is basically removed from the substrate. This is what you would do in the rinsing step in your dishwashing process. So you rotate the wafer in, or the plate in the dishwashing solution, and then you rinse it. So you remove the boundary layer, you remove the contamination. So all this to basically say that a cleaning concept is an equilibrium of these three steps, and we have to make sure that we overcome the adhesion forces. We have to make sure that we have a diffusion process over a boundary layer, so over that exchange layer, and that we then have a process to remove the contaminants from the bulk of the solution. So you have an interaction at the surface that has to be overcome, and a transport away from the surface, first over that boundary layer, and then by a flow, a convection process in the bulk of the solution. So basically I could stop here, because that's all you need to know about cleaning, the combination of these three steps. But I'd like to